Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining our pre-bid meeting, Richmond Senior Village, Brownstone Construction is the general contractor. What we're going to do right now, after I meet some more individuals, we're going to show the agenda. We're going to start with a welcome, as I just did, a safety moment, team introductions. We're going to then talk about, we're going to have these introductions, then project details. We're going to have a discussion about the DBRA, MWDE, pay or play, Section 3, and apprenticeship goals requirements. And we're going to have a period of time for question and answer. Just want to make sure everyone hears me correctly. Like I said, this is being recorded. Just to make you aware, it's being recorded, and the recording will be sent to everyone sometime at the end of the day. Okay. So now, without further ado, Lee, would you please help me with some of the team introductions?
I'm Chase. I'm the project manager for this project. Going forward, will more or less be through me and Goodwille. I don't think we have anybody else at this point.
Lee, I'm having sound issues. Can everyone hear Lee? Lee?
Yeah, I think if everybody else mutes their line, we can all hear a little bit better. Okay. Everybody hear me? Yes. Okay.
I hear you better.
All right, there we go. So again, my name is Lee Chase. I'm the project manager for this project. Didn't see anybody else from Brownstone on. We got a lot going on around here. So again, going forward, if you have any questions, anything regarding the project, please feel free to reach out to me. All my info will be in one of the slides later on. You're muted, Goodwille.
Yeah, anyone from Crossroads? I skipped the safety moment, Lee, but let's go on to continue with introduction. Anyone from Crossroads Housing Development on? Okay. City of Houston, I saw Jesse, I saw Maribel, I saw Tiffany. Would you guys please introduce yourselves?
Yes, my name is Jesse Ortiz. I'm with the Housing and Community Development Department. I'm overseeing the pay or play program portion of this project.
Tiffany?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tiffany Wyatt. I am a Section 3 contract administrator. I'm not sure if I will be the point of contact for this project, but I will provide you with details on the Section 3 program today.
Maribel?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Maribel Rodriguez, and I am the coordinator for Davis-Bacon. I'm just here to answer any questions regarding the prevailing wages, Davis-Bacon.
Thank you. I appreciate what you get on. Anyone from the City of Houston, Housing and Community Development on in the meeting? Introduce my compliance team. My name is Goodwille Pierre, Goodwille Pierre LLC. Danielle, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle Ruffin. I am the compliance manager at Goodwille Pierre LLC, and I will be managing the compliance portion of this project.
Anyone else for my team? Great. Okay. Let's start with a safety moment. I pulled this from Safety Talk Ideas. Heat stroke, many hazards in the workplace for those employees who have to work in a hot environment. Houston is definitely a hot environment. Heat stress also causes more direct illnesses such as heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. Some statistics, according to the CDC, 2004 to 2008, an average of 702 heat-related deaths, 415 with heat as an underlying cause, and 287 as a contributing cause occur in the United States annually. Heat stroke is the most dangerous, most serious heat-related illness. This illness can kill or cause damage to the brain and other internal organs. Heat stroke results from prolonged exposure to high temperatures, usually in combination with dehydration, which leads to failure of the body temperature control and body temperature control system. If someone who's exhibiting signs of heat stroke is not properly treated immediately, then there can be permanent health issues or death. Here's some prevention of heat illness. Allow for acclimation to hot environments. Take plenty of breaks in a cool or shaded area. Drink plenty of water before you are thirsty. And keep an eye on co-workers. Monitor each other for signs of heat illness. Here goes some of the signs. Fainting may be the first sign. Dizziness, lack of sweating, red, hot, and dry skin, rapid heartbeat or breathing, confusion, vomiting. Treatment. Alert supervisor and call 911 immediately. Take worker to a shaded or cooler area if possible. Apply cool water to their body or place them in a shower or a tub of cool water. Place ice packs in their armpit or groin area if available to help lower their core temperature. In summary, it is important to prevent heat illness before they become an issue in the workplace. Knowing the signs, symptoms, and treatment of heat illness, especially heat stroke, can save someone's life. When in doubt, always call 911 to get an individual the proper treatment they need. Now, to talk about the coordinators as well as the details of the project, I want to reintroduce Mr. Lee Chase. Lee.
Hello again, guys. Jennifer Hamilton is our project coordinator. Her contact info is there. The Richmond bids at TBSG is where you guys will be sending any questions and all your bids and proposals to. Again, my name is Lee Chase. My phone number is there. Feel free to reach out to me if you guys have any questions, either via the email shown or my phone number. Got it. Okay. Everybody see the generalized project location is pretty much Richmond and Chimney Rock. Location maps are identified just for ease of reference. It is right off of 610 and 59 or 69, however you want to refer to it these days. But it is over there, in that area. Okay, our project summary. Our net leasable square footage is shown. The number of units is 124 currently. We're actually looking at increasing this to 125. If you go through the plans and go through your bid package, you'll see that there are currently called out two areas where there's a rooftop viewing deck. One of those areas will actually be decreased to add an additional unit. The entire first floor is parking garage and leasing and amenities. The total square footage and acreage there. Currently on site, there is a older two-story building that will be demoed and disconnected, everything like that. We have yet to receive back the secondary report for asbestos. We're waiting on that to come in any time now. The moment that it does, it will be sent out to everybody again through the same emails. The building code analysis is as follows. The building will be turned over as this is shown, with the A2 being the first turn, obviously the leasing and clubhouse. Second, third, and fourth, and fifth will be through those areas. They will be firewall to firewall. So I'm sure everybody has understood that, has done multifamily before. This is typically how we do it. The courtyards will also be done that way. Overall project planning. As you can see, the proposed building out here on the right side of that is Richmond Avenue. Where it says proposed building, a finished floor elevation of 5950. That will be the leasing office and amenities. There will be additional amenities on the second floor and the third floor. We have a fitness center and a library / lounge, respectively. There will be gated parking underneath the podium deck. So it is a podium. It is a 4/1. So everything above the podium is all stick frame. There will be gated access for tenants only. Guest visitors obviously will park out front here. On plan south there is, you can see it actually does have underground retention. That has already, we have issued a letter of intent to the manufacturer of contact. The awarding contractor will need to include that in their proposal. So that we can just sign it over to you and you can dictate how and when it comes out. This is your overall plan. You can see the second floor here. There is the library lounge to your right over there on 220. The fitness center is about dead center on the left. There are two courtyards on this project. There is one that has a pool, excuse me, lounge areas, covered, semi-covered seating areas and such. The secondary courtyard does have grill stations and again, lounge areas and very, very nice amenities with this one. It is a senior living facility, as the name indicates. The amenities will be geared more towards the senior individuals. Email, again, bids and questions to richmondbids@tvsg.com. Bid question deadline is in 3 days. This middle deadline is on September 3rd at 5 p.m. Again, if you guys have any questions, if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me through this here or in my office and the number provided on the earlier slide.
Thank you very, very much. We'll save the meeting, any questions you had, to the end. I want to talk about next the requirements, that everyone has to adhere to, from the GC to the developer to the prime, to the subcontractors. Applicable requirements include, but are not limited to, compliance with Davis-Bacon related acts, fair labor standard, equal opportunity, affirmative action, Section 3 of the HUD Act of 1968, City of Houston Certified Small Minority Women Business Enterprise, apprenticeship program policy, and play policy. Now, these are compliance forms. This is the thing that really is a stickler for most small businesses, actually all businesses really, because it's usually an afterthought. In the City of Houston, in an effort to comply and to review, one, to make sure you're not debarred, but also two, to make sure that all of the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, and for you to understand your requirements on this project. They require you to fill out 2 different compliance forms, the most recent ones. There's MWB in Section 3 and the Federal Labor Standards in Davis-Bacon. My compliance manager, Danielle, has created a template because there are some forms that are duplication, and she's created a template that you can use as a checklist. The key thing is this needs to be done preferably before you even sign the contract, 5 days after contract is signed. If this is not done, it holds up everything, and you will not get paid if you're have the opportunity to be on this contract. So this is very important. I recommend that you keep copies of this form and you revise it depending on what the contract you're on, instead of trying to do a whole nother compliance forms all the time. That's what I recommend to everybody. Talk about certified payroll. Certified payroll is a requirement. You submit certified payroll on a weekly basis, beginning the first week workers are on the project. Certified payroll is due even if subcontractor did not perform work during that week. And then if it's a long period of time that you're not, we have work on, City of Houston has work on hold forms that you can fill out. All lower tier subcontractors hired by the subcontractor must also submit certified payroll on a weekly basis, even if no work is performed during that week. Questions have asked that if I have lower tier subs, do they have to do a contract? Yes, they have to do the whole full contract with all the flow down language that is in the prime contract, as well as all of the compliance forms. And yes, they have to fill out the compliance forms. There's no exception. Typically, we find people in the bind. They might get a second tier, third tier, and the prime doesn't realize it till it's late, or we don't see it till it's late. It holds up everything, and potentially it might cause you to be removed from the project or not get paid. This is very important. So you can have a 10-page contract that is going to wind up being 50 to 60 pages because of the compliance forms that are required to be in there. General wage determination, prevailing wage. This is required to pay wages based on the work classifications in a document called the general wage determination. If an amount for fringe is included, you must include fringes. DR-17 projects, regardless of the prevailing wage, at no time during performance of the work under this subcontract shall any worker be paid less than $15 per hour, period. So you might have a laborer that's $11 an hour. That is the prevailing wage, but they have to pay $15 an hour because that is the city's minimum wage. It's required. There is sort of exceptions to that when we talk about the apprenticeship program, but those are exceptions, and we have to make sure that classifications are done correctly. In housing projects versus other city projects, there's no helper, any other thing of that nature. It's just the journeyman, and then if you are an apprentice, then you can indicate that as well. MWBE. MWSBE, this contract should comply with the City Minority Women Small Business Enterprise Program as set forth in Chapter 15, Article 5 of the City of Houston Code Ordinance. Contractors should make good faith efforts to award subcontracts or supply agreements in at least the value stated in this agreement to MWBEs. Total amount of 34%, 24 and 11%, 11% WBE, 24% MBE, 11% WBE. There's certain portions of SBEs that can 4% of the total amount can be utilized by SBEs. You cannot double dip. And it says it right here. Section 3 goal. 10% Section 3 business concern for construction. 3% Section 3 business concern goal for soft cost, architectures, anything of that nature. That's the goal. Workforce provisions. For this contract, contractors to the greatest extent feasible employ Section 3 residents. Now, the term is now called workers. Section 3 workers are defined by the code for 30% of the aggregate number of new hires for each year over the duration of the project. So when you first get on the project, you're given a list of employees. If you have any new hires during the lifetime of the project, 30% of those new hires have to be Section 3 workers. At a minimum, contractor must, to the greatest extent feasible, that's all contractors and subs, ensure that 10% of all project work hours are performed by Section 3 workers. Okay, this is a requirement for everyone. Apprenticeship program workforce requirement. On this project, Housing Community Development expects project contractors to commit to the development of their craft workforce and invest in skills training linked to construction career paths. A minimum of 10% of all labor hours on each project. I believe this is actually changed to 20%. This is 10%, but this contract, unless otherwise told, is actually 20% of all labor hours on each project must be performed by individuals enrolled in apprenticeship or craft training programs that are certified by the United States Department of Labor. Now, you can choose to have your own apprenticeship program through James Carnes, and we can get you that email or that phone number. Goodwille Pierre also has an apprenticeship program. We're an apprenticeship program sponsor. We are not trades or anything of that nature, nor are we a union. And the occupations that we have right now are electricians, HVAC, painters, carpenters, construction craft laborers, drywall applicators, plumbers, roofers. We do not have inventory of apprentices. For example, J&B is an electrician on projects. They are the employer, and so we work with them. They hire, and then they are assigned to our apprenticeship program, which can be utilized to fulfill the 20% goal. Any questions, you can email apprentice@goodwillepierre.com or call 281-809-0142. Pay-or-play. In an effort to create a level playing field for competing contractors, the Pay-or-Play program POT mandates city contractors to offer their employees a minimum level of health benefits or contribute a prescribed amount towards contractors' responsibility fund to defray the costs of providing health care to uninsured people in the Houston and Harris County area. The program applies to contracts for services in which the total expenditure by the city, including contingency amendments, supplement terms, etc., equals or exceeds $100,000. This program also applies to subcontracts for services in which the total value of the subcontract, including contingencies, amendments, supplemental terms, etc., is $200,000. So if you have a contract with the prime for $200,000 or so close, it's definitely by amendment, you'll get there. The Pay-or-Play program applies to you. Now, before we get into general questions and the compliance aspect from the City of Houston, I want to ask those City of Houston or Housing Community Development personnel who would like to add any aspect to any of the slides in order to clarify or to correct, please do so at this time. I know, Jesse, you wanted to talk about Pay-or-Play.
Yes. Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Jesse Ortiz. I just want to go briefly over the Pay-or-Play program portion of the project. I want to make sure you understand the requirements. So the Pay-or-Play program is required for contracts over 100,000. And in that contract, if there's a subcontractor that is a professional service, a construction, or a general service contractor over 200,000, they would have to comply with Pay-or-Play as well. And what we look for is that they meet the minimum requirements based on City of Houston health insurance. The City of Houston did update the requirements in January 2021. that indicates that the company should offer the employee single coverage that costs them no more than 75%. That costs the employer no less than 75% of the total cost of coverage at the lowest cost tier. So if, just as an example, if you are offering your employees multiple tier options, we look at the lowest cost tier. And as long as the lowest cost tier that you offer them meets the city requirements of 75% of the total cost, then you would be in compliance with the Pair Play program. If not, there's means for exemption, meaning if the employee has insurance through their spouse, Medicaid, or Medicare, or if they just choose to outright reject the insurance that meets the city requirements, that could be a means for exemption. Otherwise, if your company does not offer insurance that meets the city requirements and the employee is not exempt, there will be a pay aspect of the program. And the way that will work is if your employee is working at any time over 30 hours a week on the project, and they would be considered a POP employee, and they need to be offered health insurance that meets the city requirements. And if they're not offered that insurance, the charge is $1 an hour up to $40 a week per employee. And we do have a B2G Now system, or what you may consider a houston.mwdve.com, where all the POP submissions need to be entered on a weekly basis for pay vendors, and quarterly for play vendors. A play vendor is those that do actually offer the health insurance that meets the city requirements. And the way we verify that is we just look at an insurance invoice or an insurance card. We want to verify that the employees listed on there are the ones that are working on the project. And if there's any exemptions, they need to be filled out as well. The POP 8 form would be the exemptions for those employees. And then for the payment aspect, if you are going to be a pay vendor, all the payments will be through the B2G Now, or what we call the MW, the houston.mwsbe.com website. Any questions? Please let me know now, or you can let Goodwill know at the conclusion of the meeting conference. Thank you very much.
Hello. Yeah, I had a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to know if the project was going to involve solar.
Oh, that's a Goodwill question.
Okay.
That's a lead question.
As in solar panels, not currently.
Not currently? Oh, okay.
No, sir.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to communicate some corrections. I forgot this project was the first of several projects to have certain changes to the workforce provision. I actually indicated this in the PowerPoint, and I know Ms. Wyatt mentioned it. I just forgot it. So I mentioned 10%. So just to let everyone know, I already told you about the apprenticeship program. It's 20% now. That's reflected, and I just recently changed it because everyone will get a PDF of this presentation. So 20% of all labor hours on each project must be performed by individual road apprenticeship craft training program. In addition, Section 3 workers. You know, when you're on the project, at least 20% of the project of the work hours. So in other words, if there is 10,000 work hours, 2,000 has to be done. 2,000 hours has to be done by registered City of Houston housing registered Section 3 workers. So it's 20%, not 10%. Anybody else? Tiffany, did you want to add on to that or anything? Are you good?
Yes, actually I do. And you are correct with the workforce provision that has bumped up from 10% to 20%. But all projects going forward from July 1 with the HUD new requirements, it's an overall 25% of all labor hours performed on the project must be performed by Section 3 workers and workers that are registered, certified through the housing department. So if you're hitting the 25, you're also hitting the 20, that relates to the workforce provision, but it's actually 25%. That number has increased. And I just want to make it very clear. I know there's a lot of individuals who are certified businesses that are on the call, but there are individuals who are not. The best time to get your certification is now during this phase of the project. and getting things rolling, we strongly encourage you to complete your certifications now and to get your workers certified. It's a benefit to you in that it makes your company that much more attractive to the owner developers, the primes that are looking for certified firms to work on the project. And so we encourage you to do that now whilst things are slow. The other thing that I really want to point out here is that this is the pre-bid, so we don't go into too much granular details, but please understand that the expectation is that the 10% construction goal, the 3% soft cost goal, your project is going to be evaluated on those things, as well as that 25% labor requirement. At the end of this project, there is going to be an evaluation performed, and we will be evaluating to determine if you've met or exceeded those goals. The way to do that is to be proactive in getting your subcontractors certified now, as well as their laborers. So again, you are achieving this out of the gate, and we're not waiting until the end of the project to make all of this happen. So again, in looking at your pre-bidding and getting excited about this, please do not let this be an afterthought. In fact, it should be at the forefront because you're going to have to go through pre-awards and all of that, and this is going to be required. So look into getting your certifications. Goodwill has my contact information. If you have any questions for me, I'm always available to walk you through and assist you with it. But get to a running start now is what I strongly encourage. Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you. Ms. White, could you please put your email address in the chat? Everyone will get a copy of this, of the chat, the text chat, as well as the MP4 of this meeting and the PowerPoint presentation in a PDF form. Any other questions? There's a question and answer period. You can speak or you can raise your hand, either way.
Goodwill, this is Maribel from the Davis-Bacon section.
Thank you, Maribel.
I just wanted to add, and I'm sure they've already gotten them, but I just want to ensure that they've received the current wages that were issued. I just issued them a couple of days ago, so I just want to make sure that they have them.
Right, the current wages are in the on the and I will send everyone here, because if you're on this call, then you have received the invitation to bid, which was attached to the email, and you also received the e-bid that was sent by housing. In the project folder or the spec folder has the current general wage determination. Is that correctly?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and so that's there. I will also include that when I email all this information out to everyone. And Maribel, you will be included in that email.
Thank you. And the other thing I wanted to add is that make sure that when you're looking at all the classifications that are listed on this wages, that if you're not finding one that pertains to you, that you submit a request for to add an additional classification. And we do have those forms. We can make them available to Mr. Goodwill so that he can provide them to you. But yeah, this is like the time that you should be submitting this information, because it does take a while to get it approved by the Department of Labor.
And just to clarify that, we did have on a previous project, we did have where it wasn't clearly defined as to the task, and we were required to pay that higher rate because it was viewed differently. So I would, in everybody's best interest, if you do not see a specific classification, do that now. Okay.
Any other questions? Zoe Construction, I see your chat. It will be definitely sent to Lee, as well as Vision Crane. Definitely everyone will receive that. Plus you will receive, as always, those individuals who've been part of these meetings that I have conducted. Everyone also receives a copy of the individuals who have registered for this. If you were sent this and you don't recall registering on my website or Eventbrite, please take this time to put your contact information in the chat so that you can get a copy of this, because you may not be on the list that is from the registration list. So if you was forward this and you're not on that, you didn't register, please make sure you put your information in the chat and we will make sure that you get a copy of this plus all updates and everything. Any other questions? I know quite a few people on this call, you just want to do what you do, whether it's a trade with general construction or anything of that nature. And a lot of the requirements seem burdensome, but they're not. If you just work with the city of Houston, work with my team, we can kind of help facilitate that for you to make it not as taxing. Also plan ahead, not just this project, for other projects, having these forms, the updated revisions, which is also important of these forms, it can actually help you kind of achieve. If there's no other questions, I'm going to leave this open for a minute so people can put some things in the chat. And I want to thank everyone for joining us during your lunchtime for this pre-bid for Richmond Senior Village. Lee, do you have any departing words or anything?
No, again, if you do have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am busy, so if I don't get back to you immediately, just know I will get back to you.
I have a message that I want to know, Lee. Do you have a project schedule in the spec folder?
We do. Basically, we have it's more or less a production schedule on what our timeline is based upon our contract. It's not pinned down right now because we don't have that absolute start date. We are, with everything going on, we are looking to start before the end of September. And typically these take about 18 months to get them turned around and finished. And they're not that big. They're pretty quick. There are some individuals on here that I have worked with before. Ken, hello. They tend to run pretty quickly. So I would do that within, base your bids upon that 18-month schedule starting at the end of September, if you will. As far as signage and stuff in particular, I would ask that everybody, if you are providing signage or something detailed, provide an overall package for us, numbering, lettering, different ideas if you can, colors that are that would be within a base bid package that we could select from. Because just so everybody is aware, this project is also, we're more or less owner builder on this. So it's ours. We do go through a nonprofit, and we do go through all the steps with the city of Houston. I speak extensively with everybody. Any visual renderings, they are all included in the bid documents. There are several, if you go through, and I think it actually starts in the A7 section is all the elevations. There's several renderings in there. As far as a crane, we do have access on all four sides between, Richmond, our own private drive, and I think Beverly Hills is on the back. Don't know that we would have any kind of crane. We're going to honestly look at that pretty heavily. There is a lot of aerial on both sides of the property. But if you look at that plan that was posted up earlier, both plan north and south, there is high lines running up through there. So I don't know if we have any adequate clearance to run a crane for anything. It might be all just picks. It might be cherry pickers. There's no telling. So that is something we're obviously looking into. And a lot of times, if we don't, we will have the subcontract with other different individuals, crane companies and stuff like that to get product on the roof however we can, or even with us getting our trusses on the roof.
Thanks, Lee. I want to ask a question too. That a lot of people kind of ask me on the side, and I'm going to make it a point to kind of, like, for example, the question you just responded to, Vision Crane is Section 3 NMWE, and so you may not. And so with that, for example, there might be people here who sell safety equipment or who provide water or ice, Gatorade, things that are not on specs, and that you can't see. Trailers, wiring for computer things, for, certain these things that, wow, you can't read a spec, all you do is usually provide trailers. What the hell, kind of one of my jobs, because I used to work for the city, is not direct. Now I'm a consultant, and I stand to assist the prime as well as the city, kind of effectuate their goals. But I also have a side gig that I do for free, and that is kind of help empower small minority women-owned businesses. And whatever I can do to put you in front of Lee and anyone else, if not for this project, for any other project, I'll do that. So do not be discouraged because you cannot read the specs. You cannot read, the numbers are too small. You don't have readers big enough. Whatever the reason is, the dog ate it, I don't care. the reality is reality. We trying to get paid. We trying to get some action. We trying to learn. So if you need to team up Zoe with another person, you're a GC, you just want to just put in doorknobs to start off. Let's talk about that. And I try to lobby you as best as I can with Lee or anyone else, because we all are trying to empower small minority women-owned businesses, Section 3 workers, and apprentices. So whatever I can do to assist. Now, I'm not your business development person. I don't work for you, but I do. But I will empower and will help you the best way I can. And I'm just keeping it real and transparent. And I appreciate these questions. And definitely when you email me, those who know me know I respond back, even though it may not relate to this particular project. But I just don't want you to be discouraged because everyone is just straight up just, corporate and business with specs and things, and you don't see anything that has anything to do with ICE. And all you want to do is all you want to get is a $3,000 ICE contract. Well, every contract has OSHA requirement ICE. So just speak up. You know what I mean? You catering. What does catering have to do with this? Speak. I mean, it may be a role for you or a role for someone else. So I just want you to just don't be timid about business. That's what I'm here for. And I'm that person who kind of helps Lee and helps everyone else just find where you can get in and fit in if there's a road. If it's not, let's look down the line and see where you can fit in, get in to fit in, and that's what we try to do. It's from the city of Houston, all minds free and clear. Tiffany wants to make sure that I say, do not forget. Please, she gonna haze me if I don't say this. Do not forget to get your business certified ASAP. Make sure. Yes, I want to do doorknobs. I got you, Zoe. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Could give me a minute. I will definitely get this to you before close of business. Well, it won't be before close of business. It'll be sometime tonight. I'll get all this information to you. Make sure you send your questions by email to the email stated. I will also include the ITB. And I'll send the text messages, and as well, anyone who's registered, you'll get that as well. Thank you again.
One more question. Sorry, I didn't see Lee's email in there. Can you put that email in there?
It is at richmondbids@tbsg.com.
I'll share right now and put it back on the screen, and I'll have that up there for you guys to copy it down.
Cool, thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
That's Lee's information right there. Okay, thank you again. And as always, I like to end it. I wish you guys success, safety, and as well as success in business and all things you do. God bless. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to seeing you on this or any other project here at the City of Houston. Thank you so much. I'm gonna keep this open for another 5 minutes. So you can put things in the text, in the chat.
And Mr. Goodwille, can you go back to leave information?
I actually put it in the
On the chat?
in the chat as well.
Okay.
If for some reason, guys, because of the size of this, or we might have typed your email or whatever like that, all of this information will be in a folder entitled PreBid in the spec folder. I will give all this to Brownstone, and they will put it in that spec folder, so you can always refer to it, including this PowerPoint with all of the compliance information. In addition, the compliance forms are not only on the Houston, City of Houston Community, Housing Community Development website, but we will also have those forms, updated forms, HUD requirements, all the other stuff. We'll have that in the project spec folder as well.
No.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we will end this pre-bid has ended as of right now. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Will.
I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.